Welcome back, and in this video I'm going to be going over my implementation of Reverb and acoustic portals and the steps I took to implementing them in Wwise and Unreal. So first I head into my ongoing Wwise project, starting in the design viewer. Then in the audio tab under Project Explorer, I click the master audio bus under the master mixer hierarchy. Next I create two auxiliary buses, one for the room the player starts in and one for the outside environment. Now with both auxiliary buses, I go to the effects tab in the properties editor, select which reverb I prefer, and apply any other effects I feel are necessary. So to give a little explanation of what the aux buses are doing, a normal signal audio flow starts with the sound effects flowing to the master bus, then flowing out, and then that's what the player hears. When using an aux bus, the audio signal is then split, one signal flowing like normal, and the other signal flowing through the aux bus first, triggering any effects attached to it, then flowing that affected signal back to the master bus and combining the two. Once that's done, I can do a small test of the reverbs by selecting the footstep switch container I showed in my previous video, then go to user-defined aux sends and selecting the aux bus reverb I want to try in the browser that pops up. Once I've had a listen, then I make sure to remove it once done testing. While still on this tab, I need to make sure the use game-defined aux send box is checked. What this does is when the sound is triggered inside one of the reverb volumes in game, the sound will be routed through the aux bus. I'll check this box on every sound I want to be affected. I can also adjust how much the sound is affected by the reverb with the slider here. Now that's done, like with anything new or changed in Wwise, I generate and save. Moving on to Real, I generate and save again, then start by setting up my reverb volumes. I do this by going into volume section under the place actors, picking the AK spatial audio volume. Then I adjust the size for each, one to cover the room the player starts in and one to cover the environment. Next, with one of the reverb volumes selected, in the details panel under the late reverb, I drag the aux buses I made in Wwise from the content browser and drop it here. When it comes to the settings, I set the priority of the start room to 2. The reason for this is I have 2 reverb volumes overlapping, and I want the starting reverb volume to be prioritized. I also make sure late reverb and room are enabled. Moving on, I grab 2 acoustic portals found under the same volume tab. So the idea of the acoustic portal is to connect the 2 rooms and simulate the natural bleed you would hear between them, or when transitioning from one room to another. Without the portal, you wouldn't hear sounds from the other volume. You can also set the portal to start closed if you have a closed door, and you can set up a blueprint animation that will change the setting from closed to open. I place one in the primary entranceway and have one in a little opening over a collapsed stairway to simulate a gap. I have both of these set to open. Now that's done, I save and hit play and do a little test. In the test I'm kind of looking for how much the reverb will be affecting my sounds and what the transition is like with the acoustic portal. If I need to make any adjustments to make the transition between the 2 rooms more smooth, I'll adjust the fade rate on the volume. This will change how long it will take for the reverb to fade out when you're transitioning to another room. And if the reverb feels off or unnatural sounding, I can go to the settings on the volume and adjust the send slider. And that's it. I have now implemented reverb from Wwise into Unreal. In the next video, I'll be going over my implementation of 3D spatialization.